What's up? What's up, man? With my big homie Dom. Got the Demetrius Ross up in here, man.
The government.
The Demetrius Ross.
Hey, we got some things we're going to talk about, man. Stick with us. This is the Push and Wait Show.
And of course the courage in these veins, people passing the limits, a bunch of beasts broke off the chain. From the Phocium growing and reaching up to pass our peak though. Welcome to the Push and Wait Show.
So what's good, man? It's been a long time, bro. How you been?
Man, I'm good, man. Well, I'm lying. Let me stop.
Get up close to the mic.
On my fault.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use my outside voice.
We can adjust.
Nah, I mean, let me keep it 100. Everybody always say, man, how you doing? And everybody want to say, oh, I'm good. But in actuality, I'm in transition, bro.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, and I'm learning more than ever what that means. And to be in transition is to be alive, bro. And I'm glad to be here, man. You looking good as always. D, you doing your thing. I've been checking y'all out for a while, so.
You know, you only looking good because you're a trainer, bro.
Come on, man. I was born like this, man. I was born like this. We just refining with you. You know what I'm saying?
That part.
Man, the Super Bowl coming up tomorrow. Who we got money on?
The Browns. They're coming through. It'll be a resurgence. They're gonna do some reevaluating and come to terms with the fact that it was their year, like most Brown fans say every year. So.
Yeah.
We're gonna reevaluate. We tried to get in there with the Baltimore Browns. You know what I mean, with that whole overnight thing. So
yeah.
I thought we was gonna have another shot with Lamar and them, but at the end of the day, man, I don't have money on nobody this week because I don't really care who wins.
Yeah, I honestly, God, felt like Joe Flacco was gonna be the year, man, with Joe.
Yeah, they brought him in at the end, and he was trying to, you know what I'm saying?
He was trying to do it.
I think the problem was he didn't make enough commercials. They needed to get him doing some commercials.
A little bit more.
You know, he should have took over where Baker left off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And got the commercial game going. And that way people would have brought a little bit more attention to what we were doing. And then they would have wrote it in the script a little bit better for the Browns to be up in there.
Do you believe in the script?
Heck no, man. You can't tank the game, man. There's too many things that happen in the game. There's just too much that I can see that, you know, that's just, it's funny that people say that, but not even close, man.
See, he played in the NFL, so he's got to say that.
That's part of the contract.
It's part of the contract.
Well, where the money at? That's what I want to know. Because that was short-lived, one and done. Hi, how you doing? Shake your hand and going about your business. But to touch the soil was nice.
Yeah.
Where'd you play for?
Well, you see how he stated play for. You know what I mean? You mean who was I associated with? Who did I have the opportunity to try to create somewhat of a legacy? It was the Bengals.
Okay.
My coach that brought me in was Coach Ray Horton. I was down there after I'd left Canada for a little while. Was invited in to a personal workout. I remember him when he seen me in Boise when I had a pro day out there. Didn't wind up going free agency. Wound up bringing me in. Got to throw my hat in the ring and see what it was like. It just was very short lived because I wasn't somebody's guy, but that's how it happens. You know what I mean? It's a business. It was more of a business. It's more of a business now than it was before, but. It's about who you know, what you know, whose guy you are, and regardless of how well you can play, that always don't matter.
And what singer you're dating.
That part. Yeah. That part. And what city you live in, you know, and all of that. But no, I mean I wouldn't take the experience away for nothing, but I wish it would have went a little. I wish I had a chance to script that one a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I'd probably still be trying to play somewhere. Me and Brady the same age, so I'd have probably still been trying to get out there and backpedal or something.
Oh, you said, Tom?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
That's crazy, though.
Yeah. I think somebody was trying to get him to come back out this year. I forget what team it was, but they tried to get him to come back out. And he was like, no, I'm done.
Yeah.
Done.
Hey, speaking of scripted, I could see how it can be scripted and how they say that refs can speed the pace of the game. All right, so yesterday we played a team, my son's basketball team, and like the refs, we kept getting fouls, right? But they weren't shooting fouls. So it's like they was slowing the game down. You see what I'm saying? Like every time we go on like a little run, they call a foul, or like they wasn't giving us shooting fouls. You see what I'm saying? So I'm like, damn. And I was just sitting there watching. I'm like, you could really slow the game down if you wanted to, and other people, you know what I'm saying, the other team's favor if you really wanted to. And I could see even even like, you know what I'm saying, you got to think that the NFL refs have 20 years of experience. So if you really wanted to, man, you can manipulate that game.
Can figure it out.
Yeah.
But why?
I mean,
For the
you never know
narrative.
who's getting some money on the back end.
But the money ain't gonna change.
What they say, Taylor Swift brought in $380 million worth of viewers, extra.
Yeah.
So that's why she
viewers.
keep getting camera shots. But
Yeah.
it's hard for me to wrap my head around the integrity of the game that I love having. It's always going to be the element of human error.
Mm.
But with so many eyes and so much technology and so many people hating, you cheating, I'm telling. Why? Because
Yeah.
it's profitable. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
how you going to satisfy everybody? It just don't seem like it's worth it because at some point it's going to come out. If somebody offer you enough money.
But you see what it's listed as an entertainment company. The NFL's entertainment company. The NBA is an entertainment, just like WCW or WWF is an entertainment company.
Yeah.
So it's like at the end of the day,
It's still into the entertainment aspect of it.
it's the entertainment aspect.
That's kind of like, have you guys ever seen or heard about, like, America is actually a corporation? Like, the
Yeah, it
United States
is.
of America is actually a
Yeah,
corporation.
you got the United States of America.
Man, y'all about to get me in trouble.
Hey, listen.
I'm gonna holler at y'all.
Man, I
They
did
talk
state the
about
full government
now,
name,
and he
too.
put my name on blast before we started. I'm gonna holler at y'all in a little bit, man.
We just set him up.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, you didn't tell me it was gonna be like that. No, I'm playing. But it's an interesting concept though. But I don't know. I just still think there's too many soft, fragile minds to be able to script something like that because it's also money driven. And how do you keep the narrative straight? Unless like if I'm offering you a certain amount to make sure the narrative goes this way, he come in and outbid me. And then at some point I'm gonna tell, or somebody gonna be disappearing because you messing with my money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. So I think they like to try, for the most part. But at the end of the day, I just think I want to respect the game in its purity as long as I can, and say that not the league.
See, do you feel like at any point in time there was ever a game that has been stolen from a team, if you will? Because I'll flat out say right now, my sophomore year against Pleasant. Okay, listen, sophomore year against Pleasant, it was 6-0, and we went down. We threw a touchdown, but our wide receiver landed right in the front left corner of the end zone at Pleasant. We was at Pleasant, and they called it at the 1 yard line. We ended up, it was 6-6, and we ended up not getting it in from the 1 yard line. And now we got everybody saying, well, you should have been able to punch it in from the one. And I'm like, we should have just gotten a touchdown when we got the touchdown.
Man.
It's funny you mentioned Pleasant in that very same end zone. I had a little bit of an experience with the possibility of the game being taken away.
Man.
So maybe it was the Pleasant folks out there that, maybe the Rotary or the Boosters or whatever else. I'm just playing.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, man, you if you blame a win and loss on one particular play, then that speaks more about you than it does the situation. Football games aren't lost in one-on-one play. Unfortunately, even though from the entertainment standpoint it looks like that, and people will talk about that, and the media will drive it, but those that's been in the trenches that know there's a series of things that should have and could have went different that would have changed the way the game was, and took it out of the hands of chance anyway. But at the end of the day, man, there's a lot of those that have gotten away from a lot of people.
Yeah.
That you wish you could have had back, and it's easier to just say, man, ref, especially when you see the ball laying on the ground and then the dude jumps on it and picks it up and does like this, and it's all on camera because everybody got one now. But at the end of the day, it's the human element. The call is the call. You either respect it or you don't.
Yeah.
And a lot, 50% of the people are going to be pissed off about it anyway. You know what I mean? No matter what the call is. So it is what it is.
Man, his son's too. So Richdale did pretty good this year, man.
Yeah.
There was Corey over there doing some good stuff.
Yes, I've been
man.
seeing.
They went 6-4.
And didn't he get Coach of the Year too?
Yeah, Coach of
the Year.
Yeah, that's big time. I love it.
Yeah.
That's good. Well deserved.
Yeah, I feel
Even though I'm mad at him, he didn't want to come rock with me for a little bit while I was here. But I'm glad to see it though, bro. For real,
Yeah.
it's a great feeling. So what's your boy doing?
So he's a freshman. He coming out of shell, man. And I come to every game. I have a freight business, so we started getting busy around the last few games. Missed his highlighted game of the season. He out there. They said he had like 5-6 single tackles. Smacked the kid, made him fumble. Got a fumble recovery. You feel me? I'm like, oh my gosh. But the one thing I like about Chapman is he's able to connect. Like he's cool.
Yeah.
And he's able to connect with the kids, and he can bring the best, and he plays the best kids. You know what I'm saying? He's able to connect with the kids, and he brought in a decent staff too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And they're able to just connect and let the kids have fun and win. So
if you can't connect, then you're not winning.
Yeah.
And I'm not just talking about X's and O's. If you cannot connect with the people that you bring around and the kids that you're responsible for developing, then you're not winning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm not just talking about win-losses. I'm talking about instilling, some of the things that make Chapman the man that he is, or any great coach or any great leader of men. If you can't connect, if you can't get down on the level at which your athletes are at or with your staff is at, and you can't find some association and you can't break that common ground, then how can you instill? You know what I mean? You won't have the opportunity to. So love hearing the things that he's doing up here, man. Just it's a great thing to see, and very happy for him, man. For real.
Yeah, I don't know how much you wanted to touch on this, but I would say that was one of the biggest things when we were at Harding with the program, is that we was able to connect with the kids, man, and they really. I mean, you were able to connect with every single one of them in some type of way, but that connection that you made with them created this overwhelming respect that they have for you. And I always said it like this: they was able to do what they did and play the way that they played because they knew that they had you as a shield. Because you would tell them, you go out, you play the way that you play, you do what you do. As long as you're winning, I got you. I got you. So that's one thing I always felt like, man, they got big giant in front of them. They can go out there, they're going to play the way that they play, do what they do, and they're going to do the best at it. And because that's them, you ain't forcing them into a position or forcing them into any kind of thing, and they're going to do the best for you. So I felt like that was one of the big things that led to the success of what we had there, what you had there, man.
Man, I appreciate it. The whole winning thing, that's what it's about. Winning, creating a culture of winning, and it don't have nothing to do with football.
Yeah.
Like I said, first few meetings we used to talk about how are you winning in life. How many wins can you stack up before you even hit the football field? You getting up, you making your bed, you beating your alarm, you eating breakfast. You know what I mean? You making sure moms and pops and the chores is taken care of. You getting to school on time. You stacked up 6-7 wins before you even stepped on the football field. You turning in your work on time. All of those things was what, we started with. And so, yeah, I told him, as long as you're winning, I got you. So, there's nothing I won't do. And it wasn't, the last place that you was winning was on the football field. Because that's the last encounter we had. But for sure, still to this day, I tell them, man, and every time I talk to some of them or see them, I'm like, you winning today? You know what I mean? What you winning at? You know, and it's just like a constant reminder that, am I taking care of my business? Am I handling the things that I need to do in my season? My season of post-college, pre-college, high school, going into the workforce, figuring out a trade, whatever it is, man, there's an opportunity to win and there's a process behind all of it. So that was easy. That was the easy part because they're just great kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not hard connecting with great kids. Some of them was knuckleheads, but that's what made some of them great. You know what I mean? That's what made them who they are.
For sure.
And finding a way to get them to understand their value, that's what it was about for me, man. You know what I mean? Like, you are somebody, you are something that is bigger than what people have told you or even what you've told yourself.
Yeah.
So getting them to understand their value, who they are, what they bring to the table, representing the name on the front of the jersey as well as the one on the back. That's what it was about for me, man. And then being able to have them take some of those things that we tried to pour into them, man, and apply it, in life, because that's when winning counts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So glad you recognized that, man. It was a beautiful thing. Love the boys. You know what I mean? Love them. Miss them. Miss the whole thing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I still go to some of the games here and there, man. And when I see the kids, it's still, That's my little brother, man. You know,
Yeah.
Hey, still call you coach, huh?
Yeah.
Hey,
Listen,
man.
I coached my son's basketball team in the 5th grade. All them kids to this day, I'm
Yeah.
still Coach Dodd.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I only coached you for 2 months.
Yeah.
Like, I ain't know nothing about it.
Yeah.
And
Crazy story though, bro. The more you get involved with things like that,
yeah.
you never know what one thing you may say or one thing you may do to any one of those kids you might have an encounter with that will change their entire life.
Yeah.
And then they might recognize you. You might be on and don't even realize it. Hey, coach, such and such. Remember when you said, no, I still use that to the day. True story. There was a guy, I wasn't even coaching him. He was a fan when I was playing arena football. And I got injured, and he was injured, and he wound up being at the same physical therapy place that I was at. His name was Hunter, Travis Hunter. And this kid, man, he was he was in the water. We was both doing water therapy, and he just wasn't motivated. He was in a wheelchair, wasn't motivated, wasn't trying to do nothing. And I'm in there feeling myself, and I'm like, dang, I'm complaining about my little injury. My man is in the wheelchair, and he don't want to get in the water and do the work. So I challenged him because he just wasn't engaged.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I saw he had football on his wheelchair. So I'm like, you like football? And I started telling him the story about where I played, and I saw him light up a little bit. So for the next 3 to 4 months, we was in therapy together. We was getting it in.
Yeah.
And that time that I spent with him went on, brought him to the game, and he came out honorary captain one day, and we developed that little relationship. I kid you not, it was probably when he was 12, 13 years old. And then we went 10, 12, 15 years just going our separate ways after I left the city where he was at. And he had reached out to me when I was in Dodge City, Kansas, when I was coaching out there. And he had sent me a long email to the organization, and they got it to me. And he had this long story about that time.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, here I am. I'm
Tearing
I get a little
up.
sensitive every now and again. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sitting up here like, I'm remembering who this kid was and the things that he was saying. Man, he went on in his life to do Special Olympic wheelchair events. He started his own brand. He started his own logo. He was using slogans that I gave him. And you know what he said? He says, if you hadn't came and said the things that you said and spent the time that you spent with me, I probably never would have did this. I probably never would have felt motivated enough, but you made me believe that I could do anything.
Yeah.
And all I was doing was trying to get through it myself. You know what I mean? By putting the focus on him and making it about somebody else. And then 15, 20 years later, my man reaches out to me. He's doing awesome too. Hunter, I'm gonna have to look it up. I'm gonna have to look his information up and make sure you can check it out. Beautiful story, man. And I connected with him again years ago. But to my point, man, if you can have moments like that where you get involved with kids, coaching your kids, YMCA events, whatever it is, man, understand the responsibility that you have, because you hear your kids say this all the time. Everybody's watching. Kids are watching. They listening. I had no idea how much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I guarantee you, the more lives that you impact by just being involved and the things that you say in your wisdom and in your youth, you're going to have the opportunity to imprint. And I say imprint and make that impact on somebody's life, and you don't even realize it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So kudos to you, man. Keep doing that, bro. That was, again, I don't mean to sidetrack the story, but that's what it reminded me of, man. It's pretty crazy.
Something else you said too was stacking the wins. Like, I'm about to have to. I'm gonna throw you in my next book, man.
Okay.
You're gonna be a quote in my next book.
Bet.
Because I just dropped a book last month called Dominating Daily.
Okay.
And that's what it's based upon, is dominating little things throughout the day.
Okay.
Stacking the wins. You know what I'm saying? And so what this is, it's a men's journal. And so I'm asking you, did you hit the gym today? Did you take that opportunity that you wanted to take? And so each line, there's probably 15 different questions I'm asking you every day.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, like, did you do this? Why? Why didn't you do this if you didn't do it? And then at the end of the month, it's like, did you dominate this month? Tell me why. You know what I'm saying?
So I'm gonna help him. I'm gonna bless you a little bit more, because I just want you to put my name in there and say in your book again. You give me a little nugget, give me a little shout out. So I used to do this group called Ross Legacy Leadership. I used to do Ross Legacy Live for 5. And you reminded me of one of the things that I said and had done, and I challenged the football players with this as well. I don't know if it was mine or not, but I like to think it was. I don't remember getting it from anybody. So, but it was about, when we stacking those wins throughout the day. I tell my players, if you don't win the day based on the hours of the day, okay, win the week. Okay, and that's meaning there's 7 days out of the week. You got to win majority of those days. It's doing something positive or meeting a goal or something like that. If you don't win the week, okay, you got to win the month. Okay, you got to win. I didn't get the week, but I got to get the month. So how do I get the month? There's 4 weeks in each month most of the time. You know what I mean? So you got to get 3 out of the 4. You know what I mean? You got to just stay ahead. And if you're thinking about it like that, if you're goal setting and smart goal setting, you don't win the month, you got to win the quarter. You know what I'm saying? So now I got to get 2 out of the 3 months in this quarter.
Yeah.
Doing whatever goal I set for myself, whatever it is, if it's financial, if it's relationship, if it's health, if it's entrepreneurship, whatever it is, if you timestamp it, you know what I mean, and you really break that down, I think it helps create that visual. So by the end of the day, end of the month, end of the week, end of the year, you can look back and you can say, dang, not only did I win this month, but I won that week, I won that quarter, I won that year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And because they go so fast anyway, so if you stacking them.
Yeah, listen, and that's another, yeah, you going in the next book, because that's literally.
I saw that on Dr. Phil last week.
Oh, Phil got it? Hey, well, how old is Doc? I think I might got him.
No, but
I'm playing.
that's literally, a lot of people success is in the details. It's all the little stuff. You're not just about to hit the lottery one day and it's all happening for you. It's the little things every day. And documenting, like you said, documenting these little things. And that's the whole point of like the Dominating Daily. So like the first 3 books I wrote is just how to get up out of that hole, how to change your mindset, how to come into your lane and come into your purpose. And then like I said, so that Dominating Daily is about stacking those wins, writing and journaling your process, because that's the only way you're going to be able to know and get better. You know what I'm saying? If you're writing this down, it's a scientific, it's a science experience, experiment. Like you gotta, if it didn't work this way, do it this way. If it didn't work this way, do it this way. And every day, bro, it's life. If you don't, you're gonna be sitting there at 60 years old, like damn. I missed out on a lot. You know what I'm saying?
I tell the younger kids when some of them when I was training them, but you got to write them down. Like we said, I carry mine in my wallet. But I told this one kid,
I said, Dominating Daily book though.
Yeah, I got the pocket version. I got the pocket version. But I told this one kid, I said, his dad hit me up. He's like, he's hanging with the wrong crowd. I'm dad, so I don't know nothing. His grades are declining. He just got kicked off the team. All these things. Just got caught vaping. So I went over and grabbed him, took him to Wendy's, and we sat there for probably an hour and a half. And I was like, one of the things you got to do for your goals is you got to write them down and then put them somewhere that you're going to see every day. So if you got to go turn your light switch on in the morning, tape them up beside your light switch. Put them up on your mirror, when you're brushing your teeth or whatever. And I came back, dropped him off, and he shot straight upstairs. And the next day, his dad texted me. He's like, bro, I don't know what you told him. He's like, but he's got a piece of paper on his mirror with some goals on it. And I was like, let me know, I'm going to reach out the next couple weeks and tell me if, things are starting to change. And then about a month later, he was like, man, his grades are up. He quit kicking it with so-and-so, He's like, he's going to try out for this team next season, blah, blah. So it really is, it's a visualization thing with people, especially nowadays. Why we so attached to our phones is because we're looking at something. So you constantly seeing that, and it's especially with kids. You constantly seeing it, they're going to constantly be reminded of what they got going on and what they need to do.
That's called weight.
Yeah.
So I think last time I checked, the title was Pushing Weight, right? With the end.
Yeah.
So everything that we was just talking about, there's a weight behind it. If you visual, that's the reason I feel like, and that's why I was excited about, coming in and talking with you brothers, man, because this thing is really, really, coming full circle. And I'm gonna touch base on that if you give me a chance to. But the weight behind it, the Pushing Weight show. You know what I mean? That's more to me than just the weights that y'all moving. You know what I mean? When it comes to the health part of it, the weight behind the mental health, the weight behind the social effects that these kids and the adults and the different generations are facing. There's a lot of weight going on right now, man. The world is heavy. Man. The world is heavy right now, and I felt it. I know there's courses throughout everybody's life that's felt the weight. You know what I mean? So to come on a show and talk about pushing weight, I think you got to address, all the factors of what that means and understanding the seasons that each of us are in. Mm-hmm. And then how do we maintain positive movement so we can start achieving or pulling our way out of it or pushing through. You know what I mean? When you're pushing away, you think about the symbolics of the weight room, man, and how you got to put the work in, no pain, no gain type thing.
Yeah.
Understanding the form, understanding the setbacks and the failures, gaining the little bit of success that you do, feeling the confidence when you do get a PR or something like that. But what about the weight of the world? How are we going to apply some of these things we learn in sports, these things that we learn in relationships, businesses, in the weight room? How are we going to start bringing these things together and understand how to push the weight of the world in order to create positive movement in your life? What about when the weight is the significant other? What about when the weight is a child that just don't want to act right? Or a parent or a family member that's just always hating? It ain't got nothing good to say about nothing all the time, but just the weight of all of it. And then, the weight of trying to figure out what the heck we supposed to be doing. And as you said, walking and living in that true purpose. That's weight behind that. Trying to make sure you're good enough. You understand it. What am I supposed to be doing? So I'm excited to be here, man. I'm going to turn it back to y'all, let y'all fire some more questions. Because I'm on fire right now, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, I for real.
He's on fire. I was listening.
You was listening? Yeah, see? You better tell him.
Shout out my guy, KB over there with the Mona Lisa sweater on.
Yeah, KB. Clean, though. Only he can pull that one off, too. Because you see me fill it out, though. You see that, right? Dang, I might see. I knew I should have put a bigger sweatshirt on. Y'all in here got me looking like I ain't never lifted a weight. Dang.
Our producer just walked in, man. We're gonna step away 1 second. We'll be right back.
It's not on it off.
Oh, it ain't.
It's because it's down there.
Oh, so you see it in the screen? You can't see it in the screen on this one, though?
No, so you won't see it on the screen.
Oh, okay, I see what you're talking about.
Oh, it's this real
Right
quick.
here.
See for me, it was waking up in the middle of the night to George Lopez's head popping up in the middle of the screen and then jumping back down.
Lopez was cold, too.
Yeah, man. So, but no, we was talking about moving the weight of the world.
Yeah, that's heavy.
So, and it's funny you brought that up because I actually had somebody reach out to me. It's pretty cool, man. Just by starting this show, there's been several instances where we go out and we're out, public, and people will be like, "Hey, man, when's the next episode dropping?"
That's what's up.
And it's like, man, okay, the views might not reflect it, but people are watching.
They're paying attention.
They're paying attention. And one of the things that the people said to me, they reached out and they were like, "Man, I just had a friend from the military pass away. Can you touch on men's mental health?" Mm-hmm. And I feel like men's mental health is such a topic right now because it's one of those things that as our world is getting softer, right? Because the world is definitely getting softer. How do I say that? The world's getting softer.
You said it right.
I mean, we'll just leave it at that. We'll just leave it at that. Men's mental health is coming more and more of a focal point of that. And so as the world, like I said, is getting softer and for my sons, I'm not really liking in certain ways that it's going. Men's mental health is one that I do feel like needed to be brought up.
Yeah, and definitely, and I don't even feel it's getting softer. Everything is more getting opened up. You see what I'm saying? So it's now like the women can express themselves. Why can't we express ourselves?
Right.
Shit, what if I ain't feel like doing that? What I was supposed to be doing this whole time? You know what I'm saying? Like
that's gay. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. Like that's how it used to be back in the day.
But I'm not talking about nothing like that.
No, I ain't talking about nothing like that either. I'm just
trying to get us canceled.
I'm just saying back in the day. We need to get on Spotify. But I'm saying back in the day, it used to be like that. You express yourself, and that's what it was.
But I'm just saying, like as men, it's certain weights that we hold, you know what I'm saying, that we can't talk about, that it's just expected for us to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, you got to pay all the bills, you got to da-da-da-da-da. I don't want to pay all. What if can we go 50-50? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well,
I don't. Oh, that's
Hey, go ahead.
I don't believe that.
For real, what do y'all feel?
Go ahead, Coach. Get ready.
How y'all feel about the 50-50? Because I'm with it.
I'm not with that.
So look,
I'm
I'm
not with
gonna
that.
tell you, man. Who opened this door? So look,
Get him.
so look, man. We have to be cognizant of a time frame difference in generations. Okay, when I grew up, in the absence of a father, and then a military man coming in to fill that void, I had to learn in the absence of a father, and then in the over presence of one. You know what I mean? All at the same time, and come to an understanding of how I felt about it, without anyone giving me an instruction manual on how to talk about it. I grew up very angry. Okay, I played ball angry. That's what made me the player that I was. And it wasn't until I started having children of my own that I learned through the difference between anger and passion, and joy and love. So you tie all those things into how different generations are being raised, and then you bring back the topic of the mental health aspect and the 50-50 aspect and what it is to have a relationship, a successful relationship anymore. To me, it stems back to the imprints of your environment, whether it was a praying mother, grandmother, a community like Marion, where you could be on one side of the tracks and your mama knew what was going on before you even got home, to now having to compete with one another on the perception or the like, or how someone gets down with how I'm perceived to do something, but no one has given us a blueprint or an example of how to effectively administer that. So when you talk about the 50-50 stuff, I don't necessarily, I didn't come up in that era. I came up in the era to where I'm supposed to be a provider, perception-wise. I'm supposed to be the man of the house. I'm supposed to be the provider. Today, what I've witnessed, this is my personal experience, today in a lot of homes, okay, women, in the absence of a man, have had to become things that they were never designed to be.
Okay.
They now have to take on the roles of either to fill the void of the deadbeat father or the absent partner. And now they're trying to raise these children in a world that none of us are familiar with when it comes to the instant everything at the palm of your hand with no manual. And the dynamics of family is changed. So the mindset of the woman, the mindset of the man is also changing, but who's watching it? The kids.
Right.
So we're setting the next generation up for continued failure if we don't first identify the voids that are in our own lives as men first and foremost, and how we are collectively supposed to keep the family intact, and then be the visual examples to the children, because I grew up in a household because I said so, do as I say, not as I do.
Right.
Okay? So I think we are getting way too comfortable speaking about things that we are not very comfortable with. The mental health side of it. What happens when the world today, we in this inflation and my pockets is a little empty. I got more lint in one than I do dollars, but yet I'm still expected to provide for this home, and I got an independent woman who's looking at me like, you know what I mean? Well, you supposed to be doing this. You supposed to be doing that. Who are you going to go talk to about the pressure or the weight of that? You know what I mean? And for me to go full circle on this thing, it's become about other brothers that I can talk to. Not being afraid of saying, hey, look, you're my dude. I want to share something with you.
Yeah.
And being able to break bread in some type of a fellowship to where it's not about tearing each other down anymore, but it's about building each other up, and then being able to identify, look, I got a few issues, man. I'm falling short in a few areas, but your boy's man enough to tell you, or he's close enough to you to tell you, you know, you messing up, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're not handling your business. You might want to look here, might get it there, and I don't take it personal. The problem has become a lot of times we take it personal. We feel insulted by it because of the lack of emotional intelligence that we possess.
Yeah.
we get in our feelings.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're like, yo, this dude ain't even got his stuff together. How you gonna try to tell me something?
Yeah.
So we present this perception of having things all figured out on the exterior, but inside we dying. You know what I mean? I feel it. I feel it in a lot of us. You know what I mean? Because of the perception the world has had on us. The women, the perception that a lot of women put on us, the perception that we put on ourselves. So you need to develop a partnership. You need to develop a brotherhood. You need to develop a fraternity of people in your circle that you can have these honest conversations with, to where you can actually pour out and not feel like you a punk, you know what I mean, or something like that. But go ahead. You got something.
But do you feel like the independent? Because this is how I feel about it. I feel like the independent woman created the 50-50. Created the 50-50 mentality in the man.
See, now wait a minute. Let's go back. Now it's gonna be hard to come behind what you said, but when it was great. It was excellent. He broke it all the way down. He broke it all the way down.
I was like,
But when I meant my 50-50 is really 100-100. You know what I'm saying? It's because me and my wife, we was able to, when I was down, she was able to pick up my slack, let me reevaluate the situation, and then I was able to come back, build what we needed, build that foundation, build them floors. Now put her in a situation where she can chill. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Like that 50-50 to me is have my back when I need you, and I'm gonna make sure everything is cool when it's time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
It's wordplay.
yeah, it is.
What's the word tell you?
So what? I mean, you got the woman that you're with. You know, your wife. You've been with from the beginning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's a one in a million woman.
Yeah.
Because nowadays, you're not gonna find somebody like that. Most women aren't going to stick around for the guy that's down and out.
Yeah.
How many times you see, and again, we've talked about this a million times, it's a social media perception, right? So we don't really know if it's true or not, but social media perception shows that if you down and out for a certain amount of days, the woman's so independent that she don't need your money.
See, but it was,
she don't need this. Yeah. She don't need you or your problems.
But it's like,
so to me, that's where the 50-50 when it comes financially comes from this newer generation is, okay, you independent. Okay, bet. I'm independent too. You so independent, girl, go ahead and pay half of the bill.
Yeah.
I'll pay this time. You pay next time. Let's play 50-50 because you independent. And the unfortunate part is that men that have played the 100 get burnt 100% of the time, or I'm gonna say 99.9, right? Yeah. They get burnt. So now it's turning into, okay, we're gonna play 50-50 because if you decide to 50-50 and get up out of here, I'm not left zero.
Yeah.
I got a question too for y'all. If you want. So
light him up.
Yeah, I'm just
go ahead, bro.
So like, I'm hearing what you're saying, but like. When you said the 50-50 ball, you feel me? What I'm confused is, hold on one sec. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
What I'm confused is like when you say 50-50, because like you said in our generation, like that is a thing. But the 50-50 thing so bad, or like is the woman being so independent a bad thing? Because I don't find that to be a bad thing nowadays. There's nothing wrong with still taking care of everything, but like. Her being an independent woman that she is, you feel me? Like, but can those two type of people like correspond and mix well with each other?
If you're following a godly relationship, it's supposed to be 100-100, right? It's supposed to be 100-100, right? But the woman can't be independent. They're supposed to be followers of the leader of the household, as long as the man is following.
So exactly what he's saying. So it's like, and I'm not trying to speak all on my situation, but it's kind of like what I got going on. So she is independent in a sense because she's been working the same career for 16 years since we've been together. You know what I'm saying? She's been a nurse since we've been together, and that's since we were 16 years old. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, she knows I'm gonna be the way. She lets me be me and never pressure me into do this, do that. And now I put us in a position, you see what I'm saying? And now we're in a position together because she was able to maintain what we had going on, you know what I'm saying? While I was able to figure out like, we got to do this, we got to do that. Because she's seeing the now. I'm seeing the future. You know what I'm saying? I'm able to look at everything as a whole, and she's saying like, okay, we need this done. So you can have a woman that's independent in a sense, but at the same time, she is lets the man be dominant. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So I think I'm the oldest in the room.
Yeah.
So
by far.
let me just
OG for sure.
Hey, let me take that
What
back.
he talking
I'm one of the
about?
most seasoned in the room.
What he
You know?
talking
There you go.
So let me
and pepper.
right, that part. Let me backtrack a little bit and make sure we don't get ourselves into trouble
Man.
in this thing because
Luckily, our listeners is 18
Yeah.
45
Yeah,
men,
'cause
men 18
Jonah
to
over here
45.
got me sweating. So look,
If anybody got a place to stay for me tonight, by the way, I know my girl watches religiously.
I want us to be cognizant and careful of the word choices that we are using.
Yeah.
Okay? Words have the ability to impact unintentionally.
Yeah.
So when we start throwing words around like dominant, we start throwing the words around like independent, phrases and expressions like 50-50 or this, that, and the third. Biblically, as it was mentioned earlier, the design was for there to be a suitable helper. Okay? Now, the suitable helper is not someone that is just supposed to be submissive to you. You know what I mean? They are supposed to have an intimate relationship with the Word of God and who He is in their life. Okay? And we can't control what that looks like. There has to be trust within that process. We also have to be stewards of what the Word tells us to love our wives as Christ loved the church. That's not easy. You know what I mean? Because I just told you I grew up angry. I grew up having to be tough, having to be everything but submissive. You know what I mean? I found my success in life because I was never submissive.
Yeah.
But here I am called to be submissive to him in order for me to understand how to love her. You know what I mean? It's the complete opposite. There's strengths that a man possesses. There are strengths that a woman possesses. I believe in my heart the key to a successful relationship is balancing the scales and not having this wordplay about who has to do what or who creates what foundation. It's about understanding each other's strengths, understanding each other's weaknesses, being the anchor to each other. If you are the head of the household, her hands is what holds your neck up. You know what I mean? And gives you the opportunity to fall, but not stay down. And vice versa. You want to give and lay your life down for your bride to make sure her needs are met from a financial situation, from a security situation, a confidence situation. And a lot of times we try to dictate what it's supposed to look like, or we get in the way of God's design thinking he needs our help, and we go and nurture them along the way. And we make our own mistakes because we lack intimate emotional intelligence about how to navigate through life's weight. You know what I mean? Especially in a relationship. The weight of life. You talk about money, you talk about kids, you talk about the possibility of blended families, you talk about past traumas that have not been dealt with or managed correctly. You talk about differences in faith and belief and the way you practice or the way you teach or the way you communicate. That's a lot of weight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we got to be careful as men not to throw all these excessive labels on what we think it should look like. But we have to be masters of making sure we are governing ourselves accordingly and trusting the process. Oh, come on, man. Give me.
Hey.
I had to get, you know what I'm saying? About trusting the process of what the relationship is looking like, because who is ordering it? As men, we are called to be heads of the household. But if you are not handling your business, it's hard for, as we've spoken about, a very strong-willed woman to feel confident in decisions that you make as a man because of things that you have shown. But there also has to be trust on her end, you know, because we're not perfect. We're gonna fail forward a lot.
Yeah.
Because of the
listen
vision.
to him. He coaching you out of the doghouse.
That part, you know what I'm saying? Because he
be a lot
had
of
me over
sleep.
here sweating for a second. I was like, man. So at the end of the day,
do what I
I
say,
don't
baby.
think about the 50-50. I don't think about the 100-100. I think about, this is my partner.
Yeah.
This is my partner. How can I serve? And then how can I get out of the way at the same time and trust her service to me? You know what I mean? Because Sometimes I get in my feelings and I don't communicate
And that's
well.
why he said he's seasoned, folks.
Yeah,
So he's
you know what I mean.
seasoned.
We don't communicate well as dudes neither, man. We don't
And-
communicate well. So
And again, that's what it comes back around to the men's mental health, man.
Yes.
Is we're afraid to talk. We're afraid to talk to somebody because what I called KB a couple days ago, and I was just telling him, I'm like, man,
Who's
I'm
KB?
excited about.
Stop playing with me, man. hey, he gonna stop playing with my government name on here, okay?
yeah, because they coming.
I called KB. He looking around for cameras and stuff. They all in front of you, big bro. But I called him the other day, and because I was excited about something, and I was like, man, you know how it is. You can't tell everybody because somebody might be like, oh yeah, man, that's cool, and then turn around and be like, yeah, he got a little something going on there. He think he gonna do something with it.
Yeah.
You know, no, you already know how it's gonna go. So even in your wins, as men, even in your wins, it's hard to tell people to talk about, let alone your falls or your weaknesses or the things that you're going through, the dark. You know, how many times have you told somebody, I'm doing good, you know, and then turn around and go home and just be sitting there thinking about how you good.
Yeah.
You know?
It's about but it's like you said though, you gotta have, and I sent you videos on this, and you've sent me videos on this about having that fraternity of brothers that you can. One thing I figured out, like I ran a barbershop still had a barbershop, but one thing I figured out, I don't know what it is. They always say it's cheaper to get a haircut than to go to a psychologist, because when people sit in that chair, people didn't tell me stuff like, why did you tell me that? You know what I'm saying? Like I would never tell something that somebody's told me, but it made me realize everybody is crazy. Everybody's crazy. Yeah. But what makes you really crazy is to think you're the only one crazy. Yeah. When you realize everybody is crazy, that's when you're like, oh shit, this is normal. It's normal. But when you think you're the only one, that's when you about to jump off a cliff somewhere. So it's like, and just knowing that, like being able to talk to my brother, and even you, it made me realize, like, dang. I mean, I got some older cats that I talk to, but it's just like the wisdom, because us being in this generation now, we think we know everything. We got the answers to everything. You know what I'm saying? We too smart for our own good. And you just sitting here breaking down, like, damn. He done broke down something I be breaking down for my little homies.
You absorbing so much, you gonna pop out a gray hair.
That's what I'm saying.
All you need is one.
That's what I'm saying.
All you need is one. You get one, then you move differently.
Yeah. You didn't broke down what I break down. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and me and Quave, we've had this conversation on the lab, and I broke it down for him. You feel me? Now you see Unc that broke it down for me. Now Unc that broke it down for me. You know what I'm saying?
But one thing we need to do more of, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think, this is what I'm learning too, we don't celebrate each other enough.
Yeah. Man, that's what I'm saying.
When we doing well.
You know
what I'm saying? We grew up competitive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we grew up very like, I'm going to get, this is what made us who we are.
Yeah.
But as a culture, you know what I mean? As a culture of men, we need to celebrate each other just a little bit more, because we're not going to celebrate ourselves a lot of times. We don't feel like we did nothing. We on to the next visual, as you said earlier. Well, I got to get something done. I'm always moving.
Yeah.
But man, I got to celebrate you in the success. I got to celebrate you. I got to be okay truly in my spirit because you successful.
Celebrate your homies too, though.
Yeah.
Like what you saying, because we talked about this last week, and it was something I forgot to say. We don't celebrate each other enough. But celebrate your homies when they're doing good, because you seen where they started from. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I've had a lot of stuff in the paper lately, and I've been doing a lot of things. But it's like my homies, I don't hear nothing from my homies. Like everywhere we done went, I went down to Columbus today, and I knew somebody down there. He's like, man, I seen that article. It was just in the paper just today. You feel me? Told me and my wife keep doing our thing. It felt good. But when it's coming from one of my homies that I grew up with, that shit make you want to cry. Like, you know what I'm saying? Thanks, bro. Thanks, bro. You see me? And it's like, and I feel like you said, you and your homies is competitive. And yes, you want your homie to win. You know what I mean? It feel like, I see this. This is how I feel. It's like, I want to win, and they seen where I came from. So when you don't get that love back from your people, that hurt the most. Like you said, a family member that's always talking crazy, we came from the same spot. We blood.
You mad because you got something.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it feel better when it comes from your people, man. So that's why, like, my people, I try to make sure and go out my way. You know what I'm saying? damn, I seen you
Yeah,
got
for
the,
real.
you know what I'm saying? I'm happy for you.
I got a question for y'all on that. So, like, now in this generation, you feel me? I feel like I've created for me personally, and my homies be saying there's something a little upsetting about it, but I've created the mindset, like, I don't need applause from anybody because of the simple fact I don't feel like I'm going to get it respectfully anyway. Is that
Okay, so it's a fake.
I'm feeling like I feel like a lot of people around here now in these generation, like they'll do that. They'll fake apology. You feel me? So for me, I feel like I'm better off not receiving it. You know what I'm saying? Is that a messed up mindset to have, or is that something that, like you said, just being the competitive sports and stuff has created?
It is, but it's like what I was saying, because it's how I feel. It's exactly how I feel. Sometimes it make me mad. I go around my people and they don't even, you know what I'm saying? I go around my people and just say we got something going on. Like we throw all type of toy drives, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And like my people don't never wanna you know what I'm saying, donate or nothing like that, but just a random person off the street I don't even know.
Yeah.
Hey man, here's $1,000 for that toy drive you doing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, like we trying to do this for the community. So you put up that shield where you like, well, I don't care if they do, you know what I'm saying? I don't care if they do it or not. And but you really want them to, but it's like you put up that shield because you used to being that denial from them. You know what I'm saying?
Real. Yeah.
I think it needs to be the people that you put yourself around.
Yeah.
And I know we've had this discussion a few times.
A million times.
Yeah, you need to find the group that, you know, if y'all are everybody's eating at the same table, you got to find the group that's just trying to make everybody's plate bigger, not eat first.
Right.
See what I'm saying? So if you feel like you're getting fake applause from people, cut their hands off.
But I feel like it mainly comes from the family, though. It's not. It's like you create the brotherhood. You feel me? But it comes.
Hey
to
fam, you still gotta go to Thanksgiving dinner. Don't be calling out your family.
No, I'm saying though, like a lot of the times,
Easter coming up.
A lot of the times though, like people our age feel like, you feel me, we got more love from people like we go to school with or we meet here and there. You feel me? Than we do from our actual families, and that's why we create that mindset.
Yeah.
Well, don't create the mindset. You got to understand the what am I trying to say? Generational differences.
Yeah.
Your world revolves around what you can see instantly and who can recognize you right away.
Right.
In the form of a like or whatever they doing anymore. Thumbs up, hearts, all this other stuff, followers, subscribers, all of that. We didn't have that. You know what I mean? We didn't have that instant gratification. So it was really, truly earned. If we was out there playing ball somewhere and you know, it was cool, man, good run, man, you did your thing out there. That meant something because of who it came from. You know what I mean? Even with the family trying to give you, feeling like you're getting false praise from them, it's not false. It's just they may not really truly understand, you know what I mean, where you're at and what you need. Right. No, you don't need to give yourself pats on the back, but you have to find people in your circle, as you talked about, that will always keep it authentic with you. You know what I mean? I don't say keep it real because nobody really keeps it real. You got to keep it as authentic as possible. You need me to get up on there? I ain't loud enough? All right, here. Hold on. Let me resituate. So keeping it authentic, man. Having my brothers, Derek and Dom, it don't matter how often we talk. It don't matter what it is that's said. If I'm wrong, I'm going to go to them and be like, yo, look, blah, 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 what's up? And I'm going to get it one way or another. Or I'm going to get the praise that I need, or I'm going to get the correction that I need, or I'm going to get the support that I need. My homie Sante and my brother Lawrence, same way. I got 4 dudes in my circle that I know no matter what I do, what I say, or vice versa, I'm going to get that authentic, whatever is required. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I don't have to ask them for praise. If I'm doing something right, they going to say it, recognize it. That's important. That's what I'm talking about. You need that. Mm-hmm. And everything else outside of that is noise anyway. But you get to dictate and nominate those people in your circle that you know, as Jonah said, that's not worried about eating first. They worry about how we can collectively put more on our plate and survive with the weight of the world that's on our shoulders. So don't get in that mindset of feeling like you got to have this false praise. Just find a different circle. You know what I mean? Find a different circle of brothers or whoever it is that's going to build you and meet you where you're trying to go versus subtract from you. My brother Lawrence, he about to put a book out too. I ain't gonna steal his thunder, but he talks about 4 different things, and I hope I'm okay saying it because he ain't put it out there yet. But he talks about the multiplying, the dividing, the subtractors, and the people who add to you. So that alone, he let me sample it, changed my life. Just understanding who are the multipliers in your life, who are the dividers. bro, I just those 4 concepts on his book. I can't wait for it to come out. I'm gonna put y'all on when it do, because those 4 concepts change the way I approach my circle, my praise, who I talk to when mentally I'm having my stuff. So I hope that answered your question, bro.
Yeah, most definitely.
Because for sure, don't develop that mindset. Just change your circle, bro.
Make sure you let us know. Shoot me a text when that book come out.
Yeah, I will.
We shout it out.
I will for sure, because this brother, man, he's been there for me through a lot. This last 23, the end of 23, all the way up until now. So the book is powerful, bro. I want to link y'all, man, because he's doing some things, man, and it's game changing. We need to celebrate that.
Yeah. Celebrate.
See, man, that's why we gotta have the OGs on the show, man. You feel me? We gotta.
Hey, say that one more time, man.
Let's apply the OGs.
Is in the house.
Let's apply the
OGs
OGs
in the house.
To be an OG.
I wish we had a little button.
Hey, we do got the buttons on there. We do got them 4 little buttons.
That's all right.
Now stop acting like you have it. You just happy you ain't the oldest one.
You know what's crazy though, Tom?
Like, what?
When you knew it started changing for me. More people start calling me Unc than I even realized, and I'm like, dang, I used to do that. I'm like, oh, what's up, Unc? I'm getting knowledge and being fed, and now I'm like, why this dude call me Unc?
Hey, you see, that's what I said. I'm used to being the Unc in here, man. Unc that came and Unc me.
But we gotta embrace it, bro, because there's it's our responsibility, man, and if we're doing it right, the community behind the experiences, and if we able to share, if I can help another brother not have to go through some of the things that I did, some of the mistakes that I made, in order to navigate their life a little easier, bro, that's what it's about for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what's up.
Yep. And it helps, like we said, just the I'm circling back around to the men's mental health thing, man. The more you can stop it from getting to that point, the better. Stop to even getting into that deep hole, the better.
Yeah.
In future podcasts, I think you guys should do something like let them email it to you or something like that, send it in, and then bring it up.
So I think somebody hit him up, and then a couple times somebody said something to me on YouTube, and I was like, "What do you think? What do you want to hear us talk about?" You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, but once we get a bigger audience, like that's on it, like the first couple of days, we'll be able to really, you know what I'm saying, and with the live stream too, like tune in to us. But
we got to hit the trending words. So Travis Kelce,
No,
Taylor
man,
Swift.
no. The mental health. We've talked. Let's stay with the mental health.
Chiefs,
Mental
Super
health.
Bowl,
No more
Super Bowl.
suffering in silence. That's the takeaway from it, fellas. We got to stop suffering in silence.
Yeah,
you know what I mean,
definitely.
because that's killing us.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
I like how you slipped that TTP in.
Yeah,
there too.
come on, man.
I almost wore my ATF shirt, but I might have grown out of it a little.
You know what's coming back around.
I might have grown out of it.
That TTP ain't just about ball, man. That's a concept of life, bro.
Hey, no lie. Probably about a month ago, I still seen one of the players on Facebook posted TTP.
Yeah.
It's
a movement, man. It's a movement of life. It's coming back. You'll see.
Yeah.
As we close out, I'll tell you a little bit of something that's coming. But it is, man. It is. It was given to me spiritually. You know what I mean? And I didn't realize at the time the magnitude of it, but it applies in every area of my life. There's a process in everything that we do. I mean, from the goal setting to work, to getting up in the morning, being a father, being a husband, it's a process. And we got to learn to trust in the process and stop always thinking that we have to intercede and change things and do things. Sometimes we don't need to do nothing but trust it.
Yeah.
And that's the hardest part for me, because I'm always trying to control things. I'm like, I got to keep it moving. What's next? I got to get on this. I got to do that. I got to do this. But sometimes God said, just be still and trust the process. Mm-hmm. It's hard, bro.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Definitely hard, man. So, Quave, you got anything for Big Unc?
My name changed 3 times since I've been up in here. Let's go.
I do have something for Unc.
Let's go.
I never got the opportunity to say it before. I do most definitely. This is my first time actually meeting you. I want to say.
I see you do your thing, though.
I do want to say. I want to thank you for the opportunity you gave me. With the team, you feel me? And I found out, but I never got to holler at you on a personal. But I did want to come here and most definitely put that in the air, because you didn't know me, and that just shows a lot about people's character right there. Just you doing a favor, putting the word in, and we don't have enough of that. That's why I don't
appreciate it.
A lot of people, there's a lot of trust issues here and there, and this stems from a lot. And you just don't have that in this world. So I just wanted to take it upon myself to say thank you for
Man,
sure.
much love. Appreciate that, man.
Applaud, man. We need to get the applaud
We
button.
need
Oh,
the
yeah.
applaud
Push,
button,
push the button. Yeah, I'm with it. I'm with it.
Definitely.
Like I said, it's got them little buttons we got programmed. Yeah. It's got those little red buttons right there, man.
That's fire.
Yeah.
Man, heck yeah. That's
Nah,
all
man.
right.
I think there's a lot of good things that the world's like we said, bringing up men's mental health, and certain things like that. So it's good to be able to talk about it and celebrating. I think that's one thing that we just need to. It starts with one. You know what I mean? So it starts with one. So we start doing it to our people and celebrating their small wins. Then maybe they'll catch on and do the same. And like I said, it just starts with one.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to share something with y'all. Y'all can kick me out if y'all need to. I don't know where we at with time, but your battery was over there.
I got all night.
You know what I mean? So,
Hey,
what-
wifey, you hear his phone? His phone
yeah,
been
but
buzzing this whole
that's
time.
why I tried to save you, bro, earlier.
If you got it on live stream,
Hey,
let
that's
us
what I
know.
said. She must have seen the live already.
So,
Let's BM2.
So when you hit me, see, God, dog, woo.
It's getting hot.
Boy, that's my dude, though. So let me try and save
He
him
gonna
again.
ride with you. That's him.
Got
That's
to, man.
mine.
Dang. I told you.
You see that video? That's my man.
That's my man. Yep. And you're gonna stay with him.
Yep.
You're gonna ride for him. Yep.
We need to put the meme up too.
Dang. All right. What was I? Man, that's crazy. So look, you a fool. Circular transformation, man. That's when you asked me to come on. I said I spent some time. I said, God, okay, the platform. Hey, I always want to be mindful of what I say. Years ago, almost 20 years ago, man, this lady gave me this book, this little small book. It was called The Prayer of Jabez. You know what I mean? And it was asking God to expand my territory. So I was like, okay. So I prayed the prayer, and I was doing all the things that I need to, and I was trying to figure out purpose, as many of us try to do, throughout the course of life. I ran from what I thought I was supposed to be doing, only to be coming back full circle faced with the same opportunities. I allowed myself to get in the way of things that I thought people wanted from me. Oh, you need to do this. Oh, you need to take care of the family. Oh, you need to do it here. You need to go here. You need to do that. All the while, I was serving others, but I wasn't serving him. And it took a lot of wandering aimlessly around the mountain to realize that at some point, we all have an appointed time. And if we don't start to understand the spiritual gifts that we've been giving through whatever platforms that they are, and if we don't come to terms with serving, you know what I mean? So I love when I hear you saying you guys are just doing stuff for the community and just trying to give back and serving. There's power in serving. So for me, especially after the last season in Marion and how that went down, I realized that my gift or my purpose was in serving the youth through a game that I love, according to how it tied into my life experiences, as well as the biblical principles that have been instilled in me through lessons throughout my life. People that I met, great people that I met from coast to coast. I mean, I've been all over the States for this game of ball. I met a lot of incredible people. So circular transformation, when you reached out to me, I was studying that, and if you picture a circle, if you picture 4 broken arrows that make up the circle, there's a downslide to that circle. There's a center point, there's a top point, a bottom point, there's a downslide, and there's an upslide. So understanding where you're at in the spiritual transformation, that's how growth and development happens. During my study, and they talked about, elevation. You think elevating or going to another level is about a lateral or a vertical movement, but it's actually not. If you slow the world down and think about time is circular. This world is circular. Everything that we do is circular. You can look at all the circles in the room right now. If you think I'm lying, just open your mind up to it and look at all the circles in the room. The weights that you move, circular. Everything is about circular transformation. For me, the season of 2024, it's about circular transformation and winning. So whatever you brothers is setting yourself out to do or about to do, this is your season. It's a very unique time that we are in, but the numbers add up. Circular transformation, everybody's going to go through that downslide period. And in that downslide period, you're going to have to go through some ailments, some physical, mental, emotional stress. You know, some of the mental health stuff. You're going to need your circle to be tight. You're going to have to be able to talk through some things in order to come out on the other side of it. But the beauty about circular transformation is, at some point when you've hit that bottom section, you start to come back up. Okay, and when you allow yourself to trust in the process of falling, okay, surrounding yourself with the people that are going to be there for you, who are real, and that's going to carry you through it. When you start to move back up and elevate yourself to that next level, the cycle will start all over again. The hopes, according to the principles, are that we learn, that we evolve, that we grow in that process, never to go back and repeat some of those mistakes or fall victim to those temptations that used to be there, because we're all about elevating. But elevation is circular. Yeah. Okay, 2024, you break the numbers down. This hit me on the way up. So 2024. Okay, so what numbers does that add up to? You got 4 in the end. You got 2 plus 2 is what?
We got 8 total.
So 8 total. You turn the number 8 is an infinite symbol, right?
River Valley.
He did get that though. He was quick too. Hey,
That's River Valley.
Quick,
Yeah,
he's like, that's 8.
That's 2 plus 4. That's
so
quick
he was
math.
the kid in school that you could never play the flashcards with, because he was the toucher. He was always sitting in the court. You know what I mean? I already know, right? You hitting the court, knocking out your hands like 49. I already know. So you got 2024. This is the season that we're in. Those numbers total up 8. You turn 8 sideways, it's an infinite symbol. Yep. Okay? So the infinite symbol is about time. Okay? 24 is also the Mamba mentality. This is the year of the Mamba mentality, bro. You know what I mean? So you talk about the weight that you guys are pushing, the push and weight show. Okay, you talk about the weight of life. You talk about the weight of goals, the weight of relationships, finances, being a man today, 50-50 versus the 100 or whatever the case may be anymore. The social media likes, do you like me? Am I good enough? Is my Instagram hitting? Is all this recruitment? I got to make sure I got all the flash bells and whistles as a 7th grader, because that's what I want everybody to know now, that I got all these offers at 7th grade. There is a tremendous weight in this world that's fallen on us. And we don't understand spiritual transformation, if we don't understand circular elevation and understand that there's going to be a season of falling, okay? And in that season of falling, that's when we have to trust the most, okay? We have to trust the most in what God has put in each and every one of us as men to be able to serve. That's the key, service, bro. It's about serving. What are you bringing to the table? What are you going to do to make this place better? What are you going to do with the gift that you've been given before your appointed time? Okay, and then when you've reached that point of growth, you're going to start your upswing. And in that upswing, that's when application is important. You have to start applying those things when you learned about, when we was all praying and asking God, if you just please get me out of this situation. I know everybody didn't have those moments where you was like, Lord, please, if you just, I will never do that again.
I'll never say 50-50
you know what I'm saying?
again.
But during that time and making sure your circle is right, that's when we grow. That's when we celebrate each other. That's when we apply. And that's when we move to that next challenge of growth. Because if we are not moving towards growth, if we're not challenging ourselves and we are afraid of the circular downslide, then we're never going to reach the potential of men that we are called to be for the next generation of cats that's coming up. Because y'all unks too to somebody. You know what I mean?
So, for sure.
Let the congregation say amen.
At that point, so I don't know what a collection is. Somebody make sure they
I got the collection play. Hold on.
You know what I mean? I need that. You know, but as a whole, fellas, man, I appreciate the opportunity to come just fellowship with y'all, because for me that's what it was about. So serving purposes, meaning I'm called to be on that field. That's my territory. That's my J-Bass. That's where God is asking, when are you going to stop following men that you should be leading, and put me back in my appointed position so that I can serve through the concepts of football, my life, and biblical principles when it talks about trusting in the process, attacking your future, giving 120% effort. So I'm going to resurface, next season. I'm going to be on the sideline again. I'm going to be walking in the purpose, and I'm going to be available to any and everybody who needs, you know what I mean, just to be able to speak on life, because if I don't do it, ain't nobody else going to. Because I dang sure want to make sure if I'm doing it, somebody going to be there for me when I call. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I wanted to leave with y'all, that circular transformation, man, and understanding we are all in the 2024 season of winning. And I want to celebrate all of y'all for your future successes. And I want to congratulate you on what you're doing. And I'm here to support all the movement and what you guys are doing because this platform is changing people's lives. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm honored to be a part of it. I'm honored to be on it. And I'm looking forward to what changes come and, coming back on the show and talking a little bit more smack.
A little OG,
You know what I
OG.
mean?
You
Is it gonna be Coach Unk?
Coach Young, you know what I mean?
Nah, man, it's Deacon Ross now. Man.
Hey, it ain't easy, bro. I'm telling you, because we're going to be judged, bro. You know what I mean? Folks who think they know me, people in the community, you start speaking, watch how many haters pop up.
Man.
Yeah.
They
For
out
sure.
there. They going to be hating. Everybody going to have my name in their mouth. But what did God say? They talked about him recklessly.
Man.
You know what I mean? They tempted him recklessly. And he said, sometimes you just got to shut up.
Yeah.
You got to be still.
Yeah.
You got to let me handle that and do what I told you to do. That's rough.
Yeah.
Your parents should tell you all the time, do what I told you. God said the same thing to me, man. And at some point, we got to start listening.
So I do want to ask this. I think I already know what the answer probably going to be, but I already know people are going to wonder. Do you want to touch on what I don't want to say what happened at Harding, but how it went down? Do you want to touch on that, bro? Because I know, like when I called KB, he was like. He's like, oh, this is about to be a good one right here.
Yeah.
For
He's
sure,
like, because
hey.
people don't know it. And listen, and I know you went
On the radio
I
once.
know you went on the radio because I went like I was still working at the school at that time.
Yeah.
So I'm running the halls like, hey, I know you in math. Check out this radio station real quick. Listen to what's going. But they weren't able to go back, and again, a lot of them was in class.
Yeah.
So they wasn't able to hear it, and I don't think it was recorded to where they could go back and listen to it.
And it's
but I know a
needed.
lot of people did.
I feel like hearing him call me and tell me this, and I've had the opportunity to hear other people talk. Like I said, this is my first time meeting you, mind you. So me hearing, how one person projects, you, but then me hearing that you're helping me from afar and don't even know me.
Yeah.
It makes me feel some type of way, because it just goes to show what type. Regardless if we want to be real or not, this is how Marion is. They're going to treat you regardless.
Yeah.
Us being from where we from, we don't have enough people that get that praise